Mobile is the new buzzword of almost the century. Instaquote just got sold for $1 billion. 12 guys in a garage with no revenue, selling $1 billion worth, to Google or to Facebook. But everybody's got mobile devices. You've got, the battle between Apple and all the other mobile programs. To a certain extent, we have more handsets. In fact, Henry Blodgett just put out a research paper the other day saying that more handsets are being sold than PCs and laptops combined. So the big question is, what are we doing with mobile in financial markets, and how are firms addressing the mobile issue within financial markets? With me today to discuss this, we have Stéphane Dubois. He's the CEO of XIgnite, and they are a major data provider to the mobile industry. So, Stéphane, why don't you talk a little bit about exactly what XIgnite does, and why is it different from a traditional market data provider?
Sure. XIgnite is the leading provider of market data cloud solutions. We kind of wrote the book on web services and API. And our market data cloud is the only pure play cloud-based market data solution out there. We use that cloud to deliver market data through thousands of applications, billions of requests every month to clients through more than 1,000 clients around the world. Other firms have also recognized the superiority of our platform. NASDAQ, CME, DirectEdge, BG Cantor also use our technology to distribute their data to their client. To me, mobile revolution means proliferation of endpoints. What you end up having is what you were saying, is billions of endpoints out there. And if you fast forward 10 years, market data is going to be delivered to those, essentially, through those mobile devices held by professionals, held by consumer. And this calls for a new technology to be able to serve data through those applications. And it calls for easy API with delivery from the cloud that can scale. We were the first provider to have a technology that was very app-centric, very focused on API, having true elastic support capable of delivering data to those billions of devices if you want. So our platform is a natural fit for mobile apps.
So what is it, so if you think of a traditional market data provider, they're providing data to lots of traders and lots of endpoints. How is that different than, what we're talking about, really, a cloud-based delivery platform that goes out to handsets or iPads or even apps within a SaaS framework?
Well, if you think about it, every new generation of market data delivery technology had to serve an order of magnitude greater number of endpoints than the previous one. So with terminals, with client-server terminals, we had a few 100,000 people out there. Right? Mm-hmm. With the web, you had a few million. And now what you have is billions of endpoints, people consuming data in real time, needing instant response, and needing high-scale entitlement access to this data, needing for this data to be tracked in a certain way. A lot of those legacy technologies were not designed to do that. They were designed to support those terminals. They were designed to support those websites. And delivering data to mobile apps requires a very, very different model.
Interesting. So is this, so is this just about mobile, or is this, really about a complete change in the way we deliver data, to all institutions? And if I don't really have a mobile strategy, or I don't think I really need one, do I really care, or do I really need to? How does that play?
Well, certainly we're faced with a generational change, I would say, from an application development standpoint. A lot of firms are looking at building new functionality, delivering new value, and creating and innovating on the mobile applications. And so a lot of the applications that were built 10, 15 years ago are being slowly migrated to this platform. And so it does create a big change in how the market data is going to be delivered. More and more firms are less willing to take on all the infrastructure required to serve data to those applications, and are looking to get it, looking for partners to get it from the cloud. So if I want to build a mobile app, I want to do it in like the next 2 weeks. Some guy in Bangalore is going to build it. I don't have the time to deploy, build up the infrastructure, lay down the pipes, and do everything. I need to have something that can deliver data straight to my mobile device. Do that in a very reliable, very high performance fashion. It is a very different thing. And as firms are starting to also redesign their apps for using HTML5 and looking at creating applications that will work both on the web and on mobile. So essentially, that new way of delivering data affects applications at large.
So how do I begin to think about it? How do I think about, okay, so I've got my enterprise infrastructure, but I really want to get involved in developing mobile apps or whatever. How do I change my thought process, and how do I change my thinking, and what kinds of things do I need to think about to switch my ideas around being more innovative and being more flexible and being more able to turn these things around really quickly?
Sure. We're seeing some firms today spending millions of dollars building mobile apps. To me, there's something wrong going on in that fashion. If you think of mobile apps, it's typically a mix of two things. You can have some proprietary in-house data, either CRM data, account information that either my users or my professionals are going to use, and I'm going to have some financial market data. And to go about it right, you have to essentially think about how do you build the infrastructure to serve your proprietary data to those applications and focus on that. And as far as getting market data, there's a cloud out there where all the data is there, real-time data, historical data, reference data. Your developers can quickly consume this information. You don't have to go and say, how do I migrate my whole legacy infrastructure that was designed to serve data to algo trading rooms or to algo engines, and seeing how do I start serving data to mobile apps. Instead, you can go straight to the cloud, to our cloud, and pull data on demand directly from the device with high performance, high reliability, wide breadth of information, and really reduce the amount of time it takes you to build those apps.
So really, in effect, try to break out of your traditional paradigm of thinking that I need to develop everything in-house and leverage the infrastructure I have, and just kind of say, hey, look, there's another way of doing this stuff. I don't necessarily need to, grab my infrastructure data and then report it into a new online platform. I can just go grab a new source.
Absolutely. And there's more and more market data that people have to manage today for all kinds of purposes. It's really hard to build an infrastructure that's going to be great at algo trading and serving the trading room and serving the back office and serving mobile and do it all. In this case, you can go to the cloud and pull the data to serve those mobile apps.
So I'm a Joe app developer trying to build out a mobile platform. How long would it take me to get connected? Are we talking about?
We're talking minutes. We're talking literally minutes, because you don't need any infrastructure. Our cloud platform supports.
So it's just a simple kind of API.
Simple API call supporting the type of API, formats and protocols that mobile apps like.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you'll need entitlement. Of course, you'll need access, but you can instantly consume this data from your app, not having to worry about performance, reliability. We can serve data locally to your app's users in Singapore or in South America because the cloud has a global presence. So it's not like you're going to have to worry about the data
Different
doing
APIs
a round trip all the way to New York to serve this guy in New York. So you can deliver great user experience. You can innovate. You can make your customers happy.
Interesting. So, do we see this approach taking off? You see traction in folks really rethinking how they leverage data across mobile devices and apps?
I think anywhere you go today and you see everybody's trying to build mobile applications. It has high executive visibility. I think the challenge is if you approach that in a traditional way, like we've built a big old enterprise application, then you're not going to get them quickly and you're not going to build them cheaply. And firms need to look at that. Apps are short-lived, they are narrow, they shouldn't take more than a few tens of thousands of dollars to build. You shouldn't have to be any infrastructure for it.
So get them out there quick,
Yeah.
high feedback
Build
on this
it,
is good, this sucks,
and focus on small vertical application areas. Your professionals, your customers will have multiple apps. We'll have multiple apps. We use all different kinds of apps for different very specific things. You're not going to have one big one, right? So this means there'll be lots of them, and that's, you need a platform that can support that kind of innovation and that kind of velocity. Interesting.
Well, I think with that, we'll call it a close. I want to thank Stéphane Dubois, CEO of Xignite, and thank you for joining, really talking about how we need to really rethink the way we provision and use data when we start thinking about mobile apps. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Larry.